Let's see. I'm going to play these Fernando Tatis Jr. sound bites. I don't know if he was told to talk or he chose to talk, but it feels like everybody's been speaking for him, and he got suspended 80 games for PED use, and the Padres shortstop says he takes full responsibility.
I've seen how my dream has turned into my worst nightmares, but there's no other one to blame than myself. I haven't made the right decisions on this past few weeks, month, even at the beginning of the year. I have made a mistake, and I regret every single step that I have taken in these days.
Apparently, he was taking a steroid, an anabolic steroid for ringworm, and he addressed that.
Let me clarify on the ringworm story. I've been dealing with skin infection on the course of the years. During that period of time that I got tested, I got this medication that it was not from my medical staff back over here in the Padres. And then soon later, I tested positive, and then it was more like it. But at the end of the day, there's no excuses. I need to do a way better job on what is going inside my body.
Wait, didn't he just give me an excuse? Okay, if you're going to okay, if you're looking at this going, okay, I'm going to take this at face value, and maybe he had a skin condition, then run it by the Padres. That, hey, I'm just so you know, I have this and I'm taking this. You know, you get paid a lot of money here. And I don't think the medical staff of the Padres is going, oh, Tatis is on the phone again. He wants us to check the ingredients. You are the face of the franchise. You've already had a moment where you break your wrist or arm falling off a motorcycle. Stop making excuses. Have people around you stop making excuses. You took a steroid. You tested positive. You're down for 80 games. That's it. I've never heard, it's really rare when somebody goes, yeah, I'm just taking anabolic steroids. I wanted to get healthy. I wanted to play better baseball. I mean, you could get the Andy Pettit cheap way out. Hey, I'm just trying to get healthy to come back and help my team. As if anybody who's hurt, who then doesn't take steroids, then doesn't care to come back and help his team. But people bought into it. And like, yeah, all right, I like that. Pettit, man, cheating, trying to come back, help the team. Who actually takes ownership here? It's rare. Everybody has an excuse here. Now, if he got in front of the media and he spoke and nobody told him to, great. Take ownership of this. But maybe there was a little nudging like, hey, how about we just do it one time and then we move on with this? Yes, Eden.
Can you explain what happened there? No excuses.
Yeah.
Is there a way to appropriately say no excuses without having to follow it up with something? I mean, you kind of have to give a reason, right?
Well, if you buy the reason.
Yeah, you have to have an excuse or a reason as to why you did that.
Yeah, but I guess I'm not hearing it because it feels like it went from fungus. He had a fungus, then it's ringworm. Then his dad says millions of people are going to stop watching baseball because his son is not playing. And, hey, I took something I shouldn't have taken. I know you don't want to admit you're a cheater, but did it help you? Did it help your baseball performance? I'd be curious about that. Yeah, Paulie.
Do you think it is a bigger picture topic, but a player in baseball who's a superstar, he's on his way to being a superstar.
Yeah.
If he gets popped for PEDs early in his career, will that be forgotten enough that it'll be no problem to get in the Hall of Fame? I guess I don't know who I'd compare it to, but remember Julius Peppers got busted early in his career. He's a football player for ephedrine, and it was like a stimulant, but nobody really differentiates between, they always just say PEDs. Or if Fernando Tatis has no more violations and is just an all-star for the next 10 years.
He probably would get into the Hall of Fame.
So timing is important.
Well, Rodney Harrison, who was a Hall of Fame player, caliber player, he might not get into the Hall of Fame because of PEDs that he tested positive. Antonio Gates, he's going to get in the Hall of Fame, I think. Peppers, Hall of Famer. Big Papi got into the Hall of Fame. Those under the cloud of suspicion, Mike Piazza got in the Hall of Fame. Jeff Bagwell, Pudge Rodriguez. A-Rod, you got popped twice. I can't. But he might. I mean, he might have that goodwill campaign that he was on that, hey, I'm a great guy, put me in the Hall of Fame. But I would hope the voters would look at this and go, sometimes you just have to say, like Rafael Palmeiro, not getting in. Yeah, Paul.
It's almost like McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, and Clemens did too well when they used steroids. If you believe they use PEDs, which most people do, it's almost like they did too well at it. But then there's other players that are a tick below them who have rumors around them that got into the Hall of Fame.
It's like Lance Armstrong. If he wins one Tour de France, just one, he's still a household name that he beat testicular cancer, and he won the Tour de France, and then if he started Live Strong, he's set. But he was too good for too long of a period of time. Same with Bonds. Hey, don't hit 70 home runs. But he did. McGuire. Like you got, to the point. It's like when you get, cosmetic surgery. Hey, don't overdo it. Ooh, you overdid it. Yes, Tom.
On a smaller scale, you're cheating on your friend's paper who's much more prepared for the midterm of the final, and your average is you're like a 70, 75 student. You can't be getting a 96 all of a sudden and expect not to have attention called to you.
And that's why I would get around an 83, 84. Yeah.
Betcha move.
Totally threw them off. They're like, all right, you did a little better than I thought, but all right, maybe you studied. I applied myself. Yes, Paul.
You can't go from a 72 to a 98 on the exam.
You can't.
That's red flag
time. You shouldn't. That's why it's like, God, the answers are right there off Greg Sliger's paper. I can just write it. Nope. I'm going to throw them off. And then I would start writing down multiple choice, and I'd go, I don't know. And then I got a few right. And then I'm like, oh, my God, I'm totally going to blow this thing. Hand out papers, 88. What am I thinking?